Hello everyone, we are another nerdy couple, and in today's video, we're talking about episode 3 of WandaVision. What are you doing?
Oh, wait.
You forgot which one 3 was?
What is 3?
Number 4? Oh wait, I put up 4 fingers. Anyway, you get it.
Number 2, my
Yeah.
lord, number 2.
So, it was a good episode today.
Yeah.
It was really good. Do you have a rank in your head?
Maybe like 7.
7? I was thinking 8. This tracks with how we rate things. I always rate higher than you.
You're more lenient.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was good, and I'm excited to see like where we're going. Like, I'm
Right,
finally
right.
like, yeah.
Yeah. They're giving us the little breadcrumb trail here, right? We're picking it up.
Well, I feel like episode 1 and 2 we
Was
were
the
getting
breadcrumb,
like
yeah.
breadcrumbs,
And this one was like the whole
they're-
loaf.
Yeah, like they're dropping chunks.
Yeah.
This is a whole slice
Yeah.
of bread.
Yeah.
I still don't see the whole loaf,
Right. Okay.
but
fine.
I'm getting slices of bread.
There were a lot of theories that were put out there. That a lot of them, that we've seen, are really seeming to be true. And we'll get into it. But anyway,
I have an unpopular opinion.
you have an unpopular opinion. Interesting. So Wanda, starts off the episode pregnant.
Already, yeah. She's pregnant.
And,
It's progressing super fast. Babies are born.
right.
Twins. Tommy, Billy.
Done.
That's a plot point.
Right. Well, one thing that's interesting is that in the comics, Wanda and Vision had a baby, but they had a boy and a girl.
Yeah, a boy and
they
a
did
girl.
have twins, but it was a boy and a girl. Now it's 2 boys. I wonder if they're real. I think they
wonder
are,
if
right?
They're real. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder
Yeah.
if they're real.
Anyway.
It's weird that that's a question
Yeah.
we can ask.
Yeah.
Okay. So, meat and potatoes.
Meat and potatoes. Let's go.
So the first scene that you're like, is Herb. He's like cutting the wall.
Yeah, he was cutting the wall because he was trying to trim the hedges, and he just goes straight through. And Vision's like, you went a little too deep, my friend. And he's like, well, oh, look at that, I did, and he continues to do it.
And you're like, what?
Odd.
Weird.
Just weird.
Yeah, and then another thing. So like the doctor, when he's talking, he's like, "Oh, I'm going to Bermuda, whatever."
Right.
He's going on vacation.
Yeah.
I even wrote it down. I was like, "No, you're not.
Yeah, like you can't.
Like,
you can't.
You're not going anywhere."
Right.
And then we later find out, like, oh, his car had
car
trouble.
broke down, yeah.
And then he says, small towns, so hard to escape.
So hard to escape. And that tracks with the popular theory that this is happening in the real world, and it's just a small town that has been trapped by some sort of magic, whether it's Wanda or people are throwing around Mephisto. We don't know yet. We have our kind of theories.
He says us, but I don't know.
Okay,
if we're
I
on
got
the
my
same
kind of
page.
theory. She's got her kind of theory. We've kind of spoken a little bit about it, but we just watched the episode. We're filming the video right now.
Yeah. But we see in the episode that this is true.
Yeah.
We're trapped. This is a real town that is in this like bubble. It looks like
Right.
like stadium lights are what's
Yeah.
making the screen.
Right.
And so we know that real people are really trapped in this place.
Yeah.
And then that's where it gets a little
A little dicey.
So here's a thing, the unpopular opinion that I threw out earlier. A lot of the theories that I've seen, and even like going into the show, I was like, Agnes is the villain.
Yeah.
Easy. And like a video we saw recently, it was like, oh yeah, Agnes is Mephisto.
Right.
Or like, Agnes is working for Mephisto. Et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think
Agnes.
is also trapped.
Okay.
Like, especially like how she was talking to Herb, I think all of them have had these moments of like clarity.
Right.
Where they're like, oh shoot, I'm trapped.
Yeah.
And like that was the doctor when he was like, small town, so hard to escape.
Right.
And then there was this whole like weird conversation with Herb and Agnes, and they're whispering, and did you see? And then Vision's all like, what's going on? And
Yeah.
and so that whole
Right.
thing leads me to believe that Agnes is like them and also trapped. But I think she picked up on it a little quicker and has a little bit more moments of what I kind of know what's going on.
Yeah. But so this tracks because I was trying to figure out, when Agnes and Herb are having a conversation and Vision's like, what's going on? Herb eventually starts being like, as if he's going to, spill the beans. Mm-hmm. And he's like, we're all, and he never finishes it. And I was like, man, what is he going to say? We're all trapped. We're all trapped. And we're scared of Wanda. Because I think she's the villain of her own show, right? She's the main character. She's the star of the show. But she has done this to the people. It.
It's her.
And maybe, right, she made a deal with Mephisto because people are really into this Mephisto thing, right? Maybe she made a deal with him to like increase her powers so that, because in the episode, she was putting up this butterfly thing for the babies, right? The expected babies. Mm-hmm. And then something happens and the butterflies come to life.
Yeah, so the baby kicks and she's like, it felt like a flutter.
Right.
And then the butterflies start fluttering.
Yeah. And she created life with that. That was Wanda's doing. Whether she intended to or not, she still did that. So like that's she created life in butterflies. She created the life of these babies.
Yeah, but also with the stork too, like that came to life too. Yeah. Like there were a few things that were like coming to life in this episode.
But that's not something that we've ever seen Wanda be able to do before. She's never tried to create life before.
Yeah, but this may be just because she's pregnant, so she gets a power boost.
Maybe.
And like they were all accidents, like when something happened. Mm-hmm. So the kick is what set off the butterflies, and the contractions, or maybe the Braxton Hicks. It was a little unclear what set off the stork, and so it was Braxton Hicks.
Yeah.
No, it could have been there. Doesn't
matter.
So like all these things that are happening with the baby are what's setting off the life.
Right.
So it might not be like, I don't know that is a good example of her getting a power boost.
Yeah.
She definitely could have, because she is much more powerful than we've seen her.
Yeah.
But we've also seen her get more powerful as we've seen more of her.
Yeah, she took down Thanos single-handedly, essentially.
And so like with the emotions comes that. And so if she's grieving and this is her way to do it, then like she's going to do everything it takes. Now, that brings me to another point.
Okay.
I'm just moving.
You're moving.
Did you have anything else?
No, keep going.
When Vision comes to.
Yes. Okay. I was going to talk about that.
Yes. So when Vision comes to and he starts noticing things and he like tries to tell her about Herb and like is like, hey, something doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
It resets.
And like just like that, no rewind, no thing. Like you got to be paying attention. Like you just run it back.
Yeah, he runs back, and it's like it's weird because we don't see Wanda resetting it.
Okay.
Because like when the bee thing happened,
she said no.
She said no. We saw a clear rewind, and they did it again.
Yeah.
But this was like so quick. Mm-hmm. It was like he said something. I guess she didn't like it, and it re-went.
Yeah.
But like, I feel weird about it being inconsistent, in that she didn't have to rewind it.
So I think it's consistent with what I said last week, and why there's color in this thing now is that as she continues to do this, she gets better and more used to how creating this reality works, right? So before she had to be like, she looked at it, she focused, and she was like, no, and rewinded. But now that she's getting better and better every day, she was just like, like in her mind, run it, do it again.
Yeah.
One more time, take two,
Yeah. Okay, I see that. So yeah, but I think it's very obvious. Wanda knows what's happening.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there is no doubt in my mind.
The end of the episode really cements that Wanda knows what's up.
There's no doubt in my mind that she knows it. Yeah. And, like, I think she's responsible.
Right.
So, talking about the end of the episode.
So, while Wanda was giving birth to Tommy, her first child, Geraldine is helping her, and she's in front of her and, like, trying to help deliver the baby, and you can see her necklace hanging down
I was so disappointed because I caught it so early. I saw it and I was like, she's got the sword. She's sword. It's clear.
Yeah.
And then they like go through the whole thing and they're like, hey.
I know. I was excited too. I was like, we found it. We got it.
I'm finally like ahead of the curve. I've got it.
And then they just like smash your face and then like, no, she's with sword, everybody. Get with it, or get going.
She's sword.
Yeah.
Sword. This is a sword.
Right. Yeah. And sword, for those of you who don't know, is a part of SHIELD, right? Mm-hmm. A division of SHIELD that deals with like intergalactic things. It was in the comics.
Yeah. Right now, I think they've been saying that it is Fury.
Yeah, that's
like
Fury
spaceship.
Is.
That's sword.
Right.
That's what we know it in the MCU so far.
Right. But he's with the aliens and the Skrulls. Probably very similar.
Yeah. So with that also, for those of you that don't know, Geraldine is named as the little girl.
Right.
In Captain Marvel.
Yes.
So, more connection to like Fury and the spaceship and the Skrulls and just like.
Yeah. So, that happened. So we were aware that, okay, she's part of SWORD, right? Mm-hmm. So like she doesn't belong here. And when the Doctor's in and Vision is outside talking to Agnes and Herb, they're talking about Geraldine doesn't belong here, right? They're like, she doesn't have a home, she's not married, she, all these things about
they start with like, oh, she's not married, and Vision's like, who cares? Or like, oh, she doesn't have kids, and he's like, who cares? Right. And they're like, she's not married, and he's like, who cares? And they're like, she doesn't have a home, and he's like, excuse me?
Right. It's just weird. So, they're all saying Geraldine's sus, right? Mm-hmm. And then we get a shot into the home, and Geraldine and Wanda are talking, about the babies and whatnot. And Wanda starts talking about her own twin, Pietro, and starts singing. And then Geraldine, you could see it on her face. She's like, "Do I shoot my shot right now and try to bring her back to reality?" And like she's like kind of wrestling with that as Wanda's singing, and then she eventually just says, "Ultron killed your brother, right?" And then Wanda's just like,
excuse you? What did you say?
What did you just say? And she's like, you're so strong. Right? Trying to maintain this TV show thing, but Wanda saw right through it. She was like, no, what did you say about my brother? And then the next thing about Pietro, whatever. Yeah. Next thing, Vision comes in, and he's like, oh, where'd Geraldine go? I wanted to like talk to her or something. And she's like, oh, she left. And then the last scene, we see Geraldine getting blasted out of this dome, this dimensional dome. And then, the sword people, we assume, are coming in. They got their searchlight on her, and, everyone's swarming her and being like, just coming to her. And then the episode ends.
Yeah. I have a little nitpick with what you were saying.
Okay.
Or I guess a disagreement. Mm-hmm. So when Geraldine was like said the thing about Pietro, I don't think she was battling whether or not to say it.
Okay.
I think she too
came to.
Like I think she also was like brainwashed, not brainwashed, but like in this TV world. Yeah. Similar to like in that first episode where she didn't know her name and was like Geraldine, it had to like come to her, and like Geraldine's not her real name, but like her fake name had to come to her because they weren't expecting her to talk,
right?
And so I think with that, I think it was kind of like it just came to her, so it was more like word vomit than her thinking like I'm going to say this. Okay. Like it was like possible. Pietro was killed by Ultron. Mm-hmm. Because even how she said it, like I want to say it was very like robotic and like this is the facts, like
yeah.
And I don't think that someone that knew what they were doing would have thought that was a good time to say that, or if that was the best way to bring Wanda back. Like I don't think that would have worked. I mean, clearly it didn't, right. But I don't know why you would think that it would.
Yeah. So I don't think so. The other day we were having a conversation, and you said that Geraldine, she found her way into this neighborhood, and when she asked about like, oh, who are you? Like, what's your name? She was just like, I shouldn't give my real name, and Geraldine, that it was something that she had to come up with on the fly. I mean, that's what you said to me, and it made sense to me.
Yeah, I guess that's what I said. I took it more as like
just buffering.
Buffering because like she wasn't scripted yet, you know?
Right.
Like she wasn't scripted into the story.
Yeah.
So like Wanda didn't know what her name would be. Because like it's possible that Agnes's name isn't Agnes and Herb's name's not Herb.
Of course.
Because those are very 50s, 60s kinds of names.
Yeah.
And like it's possible that is their name. Mm-hmm. And I guess as the show progresses, it's not like they're going to change their names.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The way that she answered was just very off-putting. And then, like, the way that she said this thing about Pietro, I don't see it being thoughtful.
It seemed very intentional to me, but, we can disagree. We're allowed to do that.
I don't know. Like, it was weird. It was weird, and it was like when Dottie broke the glass. And, like,
I mean, Wanda broke
Dottie broke the glass. It was in Dottie's hand.
I mean, I know it was in her hand, but it could have been Wanda's magic.
I thought she squished it. She like was freaking out and squished it. Was my understanding of what I saw.
I don't think I can squeeze a glass that hard.
Go get me a glass. I'll do it right now. But I mean, like she was in shock, and she's like, "What's going on?" And I don't know. I think it was Dottie. And so it was like that, and then there was another one too. Another time that someone rebuffered in a weird way. Mm-hmm. Point is.
Yeah.
Or like when the hearts were like, stop it, stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I wrote down that Wanda yeeted her.
Yeah, she did.
Out of the place. And you can see like the red magic-y stuff.
Right.
What's up with the stork? That she couldn't magic the stork.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I have no idea about that. Maybe it was just like, TV show stuff.
Okay. So, yeah. Weird things. Couldn't magic the stork.
Right.
I thought there would be more to the Hydra soap commercial. I don't really get it.
So, I wrote down, this is still just hints as to what's happening. Hydra soap, blah, 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 where to go.
There was something about like getting away.
Yeah,
you want to get away but can't.
But want to get away but don't want to go anywhere. Okay. You stay inside your mind. You create it yourself. It's in line with the previous commercials of just like, make your own time, make your own getaway. Like make it yourself.
The future is now. Okay.
Right.
Okay. I get it. Oh, another unpopular opinion. I don't think it was the sword logo on the back of the bee.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that does not look like... It was like 2 lines. It was like 3 circles.
We've seen so many videos saying that the beekeeper is part of Sword because on his back, his logo is the Sword logo. I don't see it.
I agree that the beekeeper is probably part of Sword trying to get in. I don't think that was the Sword logo.
Yeah.
That's what I have to say.
And, people said, like... Or we said, actually, that, maybe, like, the logo got, morphed when he was coming from the real world into this, but it hasn't happened with any of the other logos. So...
Yeah. I mean, Geraldine's was more of a teardrop than, like, the circle.
I guess.
But it's like, no. And then, like, the logo on the helicopter was very clear.
Yeah.
The house number was 2800.
2800, yeah, I wrote that down, too.
Don't know if that means anything yet.
But, I think that pretty much does it for this episode. Do you have any final verdict on the rating? Do you want to keep it at 7? Do you want to change it?
I think I want to keep it at 7.
Keep it at 7?
I like the show. I like where it's going. I like it.
Yeah.
On 7.
I'm going to give this one an 8. I'm going to stay with it. I would recommend this show to other people if they haven't watched it themselves.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, if people were waiting for like it to pick up and like for it to like really like do something, like they were like, I don't want to watch a 50s, 60s sitcom kind of ha. that ain't it. Yeah. You know? So, like, don't worry.
It's a very good thing that they did episode 1 and 2 on the same day. And then, you know, now episode 3 is the second episode drop. Just because, like, if there were 2 weeks of, you know, if episode 1 and 2 were separated by a week, I would be like, oof, you know, like this is rough. But it's good that episode 3 is the second episode drop, because, like, the show's picking up. Like, we know what's going on now.
Yeah.
So I feel good about that.
I'm excited. All right. Go ahead and drop your rating down below if you have one already. Yeah. And if you don't, you know, come back later. Drop it then.
10 years from now? Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss our next WandaVision review or any of our gaming videos. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.